thought about it for years, and it took a long time to pull the trigger, but I did it. I became a South Dakota resident and got that full-time RVer badge of honor. So why do full-time RVers become South Dakota residents? Well, some would tell you the tax benefits like no state income tax. Another reason full-time RVers like South Dakota is the mail forwarding services. This leads me right to my next point. It's super easy to become a South Dakota resident. First, get a mailbox. I've literally never seen my home. I've never seen my mailbox. In fact, the mailboxes are at a completely separate facility. If you like, you can go ahead and order your mailbox online. There are several different packages to choose from, and I just chose the bare minimum because I only get my mail forwarded like 3 times a year. The next step is to book one night at America's Mailbox campground. One night is the actual requirement to become a South Dakota resident. Now, you should be aware that there are bills in the legislature to change this. They're really gunning for the voting rights of part-time residents like RVers, but there is a chance they could change the residency requirements to 30 days. This is something that's been going on for quite a while, so I don't anticipate anything will change right away. Now, don't forget your receipt because you will need that at the DMV. So off to the DMV I went. I had actually booked 2 nights at the RV park just thinking there would be some sort of delay, but it was absolutely a piece of cake. No problems whatsoever. And in less than a day's time, I became a South Dakota resident. So is it easy to renew your tags? Well, this leads me to the very reason I signed up for America's Mailbox and became a South Dakota resident. During COVID, I was hunkering down in the hills of North Carolina. I had Nevada tags on both my truck and my camper. So it was during this time that I bought another camper and I registered it with the state of North Carolina. Of course, now my renewals were going to be completely different times of year. That sucked. And what I didn't anticipate was how difficult it was going to be to renew the truck. To renew my registration in Nevada, I needed a smog test. These were unusual circumstances for the Nevada DMV, and they made it kind of a difficult process. After I drove an hour and a half to Asheville, North Carolina, I found out this was even more unusual for the smog facilities. I got turned away by 3 of them. Finally, at the 3rd one, I had to actually get them on the phone with a live person at the DMV, if you can imagine how challenging that was. Never again. I started planning my trip to South Dakota. You see, South Dakota doesn't have emissions test. Additionally, America's Mailbox will handle renewals for you. So it basically costs about $10 or $15 a month, depending on what you want. Of course, this pricing does not include postage. That's separate. But America's Mailbox makes it super easy to add funds. I do find the interface a little bit confusing when it comes to actually shipping items. I very much prefer dealing with a human being, so I just email them. I find them very personable and very communicative. I really, really like that aspect of America's Mailbox. Warning. Do not use this address with banking institutions if you're applying for a loan. Don't do it. I was told that some banking institutions do not like this address, and I forgot. I own it. I simply forgot. And when the bank rejected my loan, their explanation was that this address was associated with an RV park. So my overall review of America's Mailbox, I'm satisfied. I realize that's not a glowing review, but it's not a bad one either. I just have nothing to compare it to. I think the only real true way to compare this service with another one is to get another mailbox, which I have no need to do. But there may be viewers out there that have had different mailboxes with America's Mailbox and or Escapees and have been able to compare these services. I'd love to hear from you. Well, I hope this information's been valuable to you. That's all I got for now. Safe travels, and I'll see you next time.